YM, the most I've ever seen it down is $1,500 in a day. So right now we're all down 630.
So
So
YM, what's
there's
YM?
still a possibility. Slash YM, which
Oh,
is Dow futures. So I mean, worst comes to worst, we were down 1,500 in YM. That's the most I've seen it, and that's like the record. I think $1,500 during COVID. But the next day, it got bought up so hard. It was literally a crash.
yeah, that's crazy. From the lows, what was that? 32, 32, 167. Got all the way back up to 34. Wow,
Yeah, and I think we
2,000
test the
points.
lows. I'm pretty sure we test the lows here tomorrow. That's still kind of in range.
Hmm.
So I'm just gonna literally wait. I'm gonna wake up. I'm gonna see how far they pull back, and the first red candle I see in the 15 minute, I'm gonna just go short.
Yeah, insane.
Mads, you were saying gap down was where do you see the gap down, or is that something current right now, the S&P or the
Oh,
SPY?
The
the
ES is
spy's
showing right
already
now.
down. Like ES is down 115 points right now.
Yeah,
Like
so
it's major gap down.
here's the ES. Here's the ES right here on the 5 minute. I should switch it back to hourly. So hourly, as you can see, there's the gap down right here. So it closed up here on Friday, and now this is where we at. Look how far down. It's crazy. Let's
That
see.
is that SPY tomorrow as well going to be everything gap down and SPX?
No, SPY
Yep.
is already
Look
showing.
look at spy on the left on TJ's chart. It says at the end of the day it's 437, right? And right now it's at 426.55.
Here's the
It's
day right
already
here.
down like it's already down $11.
So this is current right here. This is current.
Yeah, that's live.
That's a huge freaking gap down. What the hell happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's huge. And like at the end of the day on Friday, I was like, no, this is BS. I know this is short. I was wanting to short, but I was like, you know what? It's fine. I'm just gonna
Dude,
close it and
we've been
wait for
talking
Monday.
about a fake out, right? Like this is exactly
Oh
how they're
yeah,
trapping people. People are
yeah.
gonna be
Bro,
so much
Sam,
panic in the market, and like tomorrow is gonna be such a sell-off too, because the people that are still long on this, they're gonna be like selling, you
Yeah,
know?
they're gonna be like, fuck that. Yeah, dude, it's over.
guys, Sam's room and guys were buying lottos for Monday, and then Boiler Room as well was buying lottos for Monday. So what the hell are they seeing that? What the hell? That everybody's gonna be fucked on Monday.
Oh, dude,
Are
yeah,
they long hauls?
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, they're
They
fucked.
all
There's
loaded
no
up.
way. Yeah, there's no way. I literally went up like 40% on Friday, and I was like, you know what? It's Friday. I'm gonna freaking close it. There's no point, right? Like with all the uncertainty, it's like
Hmm.
so is there? I mean, there wasn't nothing like nuclear or anything, war or anything announced. So why the hell did it drop that hard?
I we don't know.
Trap,
It's
bro.
So
it's
like
a
TJ,
trap,
you
dude.
said it's a trap.
This is a trap. Yeah. This is
I
this
mean,
is this is called the bear trap.
yeah. I mean, it'll just look up the QQQ on the daily, right? If you pull up the
QQQ.
this is what I'm indicating. Look at the daily. I'll show you what I saw. That's why I just got out. Draw the fib from the long term fib. So it's the bottom of like that one, the right in the green.
This one.
No more on the right side.
Oh, a little more. This one.
More, one more.
This one.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, all the way to the top of red. Not that one. The one before that. Nope, to the right.
This one.
Right more. Right one. Right
This
one
one.
more. Yeah, that one. Like, dude,
Okay.
bro. I saw this and I was just like, nope, no way I'm gonna hold.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Rejecting
Yeah.
a 78.6.
Oh yeah. Just look at the 5 minute, and that's why I just got out of all my positions.
Yeah, so there's okay, so I see what Brian's is saying here. And this is another why we emphasize on looking left and potentially using different tools. But the first thing that I see here is the resistance
And
at the 10
SMA.
SMA, right? And then
Hmm.
resistance at the 78.6, which is also a very reliable number. And then let's see. Of course, you can see the chart as well, right? You can see there's resistance right here. So if that was to continue, the 20 and the 50 or the 61:8 ratio would have been ideal. You can see right here. I think it would have rejected at the 20 because you can see right
Right.
here on these candles right here. These are resistance.
But here's the thing, right? We're probably gonna open at the 100 line and come back. Can you see in the 5 minute where it is right now?
On the 100 line.
Is it below the 100 line?
Oh, on the triple Q.
Yeah.
It won't.
I
It
just
won't
want to
show.
see where it is.
It won't show that right
It
now,
will
will it?
show.
It won't show.
It will. It's
Okay, it
live.
does. Okay.
Where's your 100?
No, not
Okay,
yet.
so the target line's the 100 line. If there's a chance to bounce tomorrow, it's gonna be at the 100 line. If it can't hold the 100 line, then it's going straight flush at 317 again,
Yeah, 317,
which is a
320.
long drop. That's like
Does
a
back
freaking massive drop.
way the
Yeah,
heck down here, which is makes sense because it'll give back all those gains, which is what the
right.
market's been doing.
hmm
That's crazy, man.
And so that's why I got out. It was like right there. I was just like, nah, you know what? I'm just gonna get out and chill for Monday. Thank God I did.
Well, I'm one of those guys that got trapped because I went Facebook long on that
Oh
stock.
really?
Yeah.
I mean, it looks so good though. That's why, if you think about it.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, even the top traders that we follow, they're trapped on this. That's crazy.
Like 2 gigantic green days in a row. I mean, like that's
It's perfect
definitely a
perfect
reversal.
setup for the hedge funds, right? They're like, "Oh yeah, come on guys. We're going up. Let me spend a billion to make 10 billion."
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Other than that, that's kind of what all we got, guys. This is what we can do in the pre-market. We can't see, you know, we don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, but based on what the market's doing right now, the SPY, ES, QQQ, YM, SPX won't show yet, but it is crazy. So
I
tomorrow,
would
based on that, so keep an eye on triple Q. Let's take a look at SPY. Where would the SPY support level be? Okay, there's a line.
it literally got dropped down below 70 points. So we have a chance to get back above.
So it still got room. I mean, 420,
Yeah.
61. Dude,
I think we
that's still pretty
bounced.
far.
I think we bounced to 431 first before we come back above.
431.
Yeah, the 78.6 line. I think we
Yeah.
bounced there.
Here's another possibility. So here's support right here in this zone. What is that? 426 area, which is already right there. So yeah, I think you're right because they might hold this 426 area, bounce up. You said 431.
And then flush to 420.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 431 gets us 10 and 20 resistance right about that point. So it's gonna look like this. Bounce up to here, and then flush back down to test the 100. If the 100 doesn't hold, we're going all the way down to 406. Oh man, let's make some money.
I'm excited. I mean, it's bad, but I'm excited.
Dude, that's the good
TJ,
thing
back
about
to
being
sports
a trader.
tomorrow?
Huh?
Back to options tomorrow, TJ, or stocks? What the fuck?
Well, no, because this is like getting a read on the bigger market like the SPY and the ES. The rest of the market is following. Like if you look at all the patterns, they're all very similar. So just
Have you
Yeah.
guys been
yeah,
trading
keep that
stocks?
in mind. We were gonna scalp tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Scalp what? Stocks?
Just
Like the
stocks,
low
yeah,
flow?
low float stocks.
Oh, okay.
The funny thing is, like when the big market, like the large caps, it starts to die off, like which is what it's been doing. All the money moves back to the low floats, to the
Mhm.
small caps, and I'm seeing some actions right now, like Max, the other guy that scalps a lot. Now he's making like 50 plus, and he's probably gonna break 100K because the volume and liquidity is back in the small cap market.
Yeah, that makes sense. No one's gonna want to
Just
touch large cap.
No,
There's no way.
they
just
want quick in and out.
Friday, Max, he made 87,000.
87,000, yeah. because that, like I said, like the money moves into the small cap world stocks when the large cap starts to die off, because there's so much uncertainty in the large caps. Like playing in a small cap, there's like their $100 million goes a long way, and it moves the stock, you know. And for us little guys, it's a good market for just get in and out. So that's kind of what's happening. I don't know. Let's go. Let's utilize some time here. Um, who doesn't know what we're talking about as far as like the all the indicators that you see? Like it's now's the time to ask your questions. New traders or the people that still doesn't quite get it yet. Now's your time to like really ask some questions, or else this is gonna be a short session. Dang, Gian, Hebrew, Marty, Mukau.
I don't really have a question on the indicators, but I'm curious what low floats are you looking at?
Okay, so low float
Yeah.
is just basically those any company, or not low floats, but small caps in particular. So when we refer to a small cap, they're just smaller companies that have a small cap rate. So your cap rate is basically the value of your company, right? So like the Teslas and the Amazons are worth billions and billions of dollars. When we talk about small cap companies, they're anywhere from 100 million to maybe even like $50 million, right? Companies. So when the big players like the hedge funds and institutions gets involved on those little tiny companies, they move like the price action so fast. Like you'll see stocks that are getting halted, and halted is just means it gets paused whenever a stock price moves 10% greater in one direction or the other, up or down. So the stock gets halted anywhere for like 5 to 10 minutes, and when it resumes, it's very violent. It either continues to go in that same direction or whips the other way and gets halted again. And if you're fast enough to catch these and know how to ride these type of trades, you can literally like make thousands of dollars or lose thousands of dollars. But it's more for an experienced trader, or at least like high reaction kind of scalping. And that's where I started. Like I started in the scalping world, and I just like that's why you can see me call out these tops and bottoms when I'm trading or when I'm scalping, because now I've seen it so many times where the stocks just goes whiplash up and down, and being able to time it will greatly increase your what is that kind of like reaction speed. So small cap it is, you know. As far as the indicators that I use is all the same than what you're seeing right now, except instead of me looking at the 5 minute, I'll be in like the 1 minute and the 1 minute time frames, like these right here. Like I'll literally be, let's say I'll get in a trade right here to go short, and I'll be out like in this candle or even possibly in this candle right here. Like that's scalping for me. And then same thing on the upside. If I know there's a breakout right on the upside right here, this candle, I'll probably get in because this is a 1 minute, patterns that I've been preaching about. 10 crosses the 20, breaks up above, take that trade, and then probably get out right in the next resistance zone, because this would be my next resistance. And that's scalping. Like I'm in and out. Right here, this pattern right here, when it tops off like this, like I would load the boat for a potential breakdown, because it's already been tested right here and it failed, and then it keeps slamming down further than the upside. So there's more whiplashes down below, and I would short right here. I'll probably get out either the first candle or the second candle. Like I won't even wait for this big move down here. Like I don't have the patience for that. And then if it continues to drop, I'll probably reestablish another level, right? Something like here, reshort at that level or reshort below that line. That's scalping. But if you guys wanna watch and listen uh, from me tomorrow, that'll be the time.
Well, that's for experienced traders too, when like you said on top right there, that was hitting the ceiling already, and you know it did a couple times, and you usually wait until it does a couple times, and it does the volume is not kicking in,
Hmm.
it's hitting a major support level, and for you not to ride the whole entire thing, you know that's going to come down, you load the boat. So for experienced trader, you see, you know that's going to go down. You put in 10,000 shares depending on the stock size,
Hmm.
and two candles, that's a pretty penny for you. You get out. You don't have to wait until the whole move because again, it could reverse as well.
Yeah.
But two large candles, that's a pretty penny for you, and you get out and just wait for the next setup.
Yeah, these scalps, for a small account, it's not ideal because to make a significant gain on the scalping side, like we literally deploy anywhere from like 25, 50, 100, $200,000 positions in matter of like seconds, and then we're in and out to make like 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 in like a quick little candle drop like that. And to be honest with you, like that realm right there, that type of trading, like a lot of these hedge funds have high frequency algorithm, and that's what they do, and that's what causes these stocks to move up and down this fast, guys. Like when you're zoomed in like this in a 1 minute time frame, you're wondering like, oh, why is it like coming down and coming back up, and then the next candle does the same thing, and come until it trends. These are all algorithmic freaking trading, and all you're doing is riding along, right? Every retail traders is getting caught in between all the algorithm trading. This is the stock market is heavily populated with algorithm trading, which is high frequency trading, HFT. Most hedge funds and banks operate their their operations with the algorithm. Okay, there's very few in their trading floor that are doing manual trading. Okay, most of them are literally algorithm trading. Okay, and you could go on a whole new topic of just talking about algorithm or high frequency trading based on what you're seeing here. Okay, once you understand that side of the trading um, strategy as well, you'll start to understand how they're painting these charts and pictures to make you think one way or the other. Because at the end of the day, you're actually competing with the AI, right? And you got to learn how the AI kind of thinks in a bigger picture. Once you get in a higher level, you can't just be like relying on patterns and indicators. You got to think like the machines. You got to think like how are they programming these bots today, or what is the market sentiment? Like there's so many more key pieces you got to put together to get a read on which side it's going. And
And they keep on updating that as well.
oh,
Seeing that what human behavior is
Um,
adapting to. So now let's go ahead and tweak it right now, so that way they can't even keep up as well.
hmm and
and that's why I use the Fibonacci is because my friend Steve used to work at a bank where he basically traded, and he told me what they do is they program this high frequency traders at the fib line. So whatever the fib sees is basically where they program their buy and sell. And that's why when you see these, like when I tell you from like the 100 line is only gonna bounce to 78.6, it's because it's already programmed to bounce to 78.6.
hmm
Okay, these are like the exact numbers that you see, and that's why I use the fib like every day. Like that's why
Okay,
like that's what I
perfect. So you're talking about fib. I'm not. Maybe this might be a good question right here for me. How do I? Because there's always highs and lows. What is the best place, a time frame to really accuracy? Start from top to bottom or bottom to top your fib lines to chart
so
to see where that's going to be. So pick any
so it
stock, right? And where would you go? So that might I'm having a hard time.
So like it say like okay, like look at this, the QQQ. Look where TJ did it. It's basically your ABC pattern. Look how this exactly hit like 127, right? And then it completely bounces to 78.6, and now it's like back down. So basically think of it like an ABC. So you have a higher high and then a lower high, and you're trying to determine the C wave. And then you can do those in like different time frames. The daily is the most accurate one, but it literally takes like 1 to 2 days for it to hit. So if you're just like like day swinging like me, I do the hourly or the 15 minute, and I look for patterns like basically a B move. So one move up to the quick move to the upside, and then a quick pullback, and then I just draw it from there. If that makes sense. I mean, TJ can show you, I guess.
So so on the daily here, so basically, as you can see, I drew that line. This is a previous low. So overall,
Mhm.
right, the overall is the trend is downside. So right now, what we're trying to do is we're trying to figure out, okay, how far does it bounce and how far does it keep going down? So right now, we call this the 100 line because that was the most recent trend. That was a clean trend, right? I guess we could draw it right here as well, and then draw to here, and that gives us
Yep.
a more tighter range. Okay, so let me remove this so we can actually draw.
Because then now that's a new trend, right?
This is a
So
new trend
because
right
we
here.
have established.
Yep. So this is a new trend. So the trend is just the cleanest, um, you know, multiple trend in that direction because this is on the
Oh,
daily. When
mhm.
you go in the hourly, you'll see more of a choppiness, right? And you can chart it then. So in this
That's
case,
actually a level too, by the way. That's a 23.6 level.
mhm.
They
so
like overextended it.
So in this case right here, it's clean that we can see that there's a high probability it's going to get rejection right into the 10, which it actually did because it already gapped down. So the next level right here is a 50% line, 337.86. That's a possibility it could bounce. So let's just put an arrow there. Let's see what that looks like. And then the next level, 61.8. 61.8 on the downside, it's actually a pretty decent support. So the possibility of it bouncing from the 61.8 back to 337, right? And then if it continues sell off, then your next line is 78.6. So that's how you kind of you can literally see this. This is a bear flag, right? This is literally a bear flag right now. Okay, right, coming down. Disregard this long candle right here, but overall in the big picture is a bear flag. But if you go into the hourly, which is that's gonna matter on the daily, then you're gonna see a trap here. There's the bull flag. So here's a bull
Right,
flag right
but
here.
you can see how it plays out, right? So that's why I keep saying, my, think about your higher time frames first, and then draw your lower time frames. Okay,
Right.
because on the hourly, that's a bull flag, and we can kind of tell where that's going too if we just draw the Fibonacci. You can draw it to the upside.
hmm
There you go.
So we know that it broke out that 100, and then your typical rejection line is these, 127.2 and then 161.8. So if it got above that 127.2, it had a high probability that it could have gone to the next line. But since it got rejected hard, this 100 line should have held, right? That would have been your first line of defense. Since that broke, your next target is this line, and if that breaks, your 61.8 is your next target.
Yep. And as you see, we're there right now. So if
Yeah.
that breaks below,
The
you see
probability
a
of this breaking down, this 78.6, is pretty high. The reason being is this sell off right here is going to trigger a lot of these panic selling from all the people that got trapped. And that's exactly what they want to do is they're trapping because like they're giving everybody hope. Remember on Friday, we're scratching our head, right? We were literally all like short bias because the freaking Ukraine just got invaded, right? And there's chaos going on. There's war like escalation. Why is the market going up? We're all scratching our head. Why is the market going up? And the only thing we can
it's
think of that makes sense, this is a trap. They literally need people to come in to buy their selling pressure. They need to offload billions. I mean, we're talking billions. They can't just sell it all one time. They're going to crash the market. What they're going to do is they're going to advertise it that, hey guys, we are going up. Come on, buy some. And slowly they're selling into all these suckers that are buying into it. Okay, that
but
is
see like
literally how the market works.
so draw that long term fib again, and that's why Steve was long and I was long too. It's because we were talking they
Back on
were
the
like,
daily.
dude, yeah, back in the daily, because we were like, dude, this is like a total trap because it opened at the 127 line. We're just like, bruh, you have to go long here. Like when it opened right there, we know that it was gonna hit 78.6 or the 100 line. Because look, if you look at the 5 minute, it can't get any more exact. Like literally, the algos were programmed to like buy the dip. Like you can't even tell me right there. Check it out
Right
on the
here.
left, on the left. Yeah, right.
This guy right here.
The 317.75, the
317.
bottom.
Oh,
Yeah,
right
the
here.
bottom. Yeah, right there. Look, it's literally hanging out at the 127 line. So
Hmm.
at least it's gonna bounce back to the 100 line, but it overachieved and continues 78.6. So,
Yeah, that's
but
crazy.
you
That's right on
know,
target.
oh yeah, for sure, always. And look at the top of that thing. It was literally on target
Hmm. Right here.
the next day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
345. That's
and
insane.
that's why I got out of my calls. I was like, no, fuck that. This has to be a trap. Check it out.
So yeah, Brian's seeing these key levels right here, which is, each line that we've been preaching, each line that you have drawn out, you have to respect them regardless if you think it's going to continue to go. You have to respect them as high levels of price action. And that's exactly literally to the T of these levels. And these levels are determined again from the daily, right? From the
Hmm.
daily what Brian saw, which we all can see this right here, right? That was the previous low that bounced, okay? And then here's the most recent trend right here. Okay, so this direction right here is the trend that we're calculating. This is a trend right here. This is a trend right here, right? This is
Got
choppiness.
rejected. Yep.
Yep, this is a trend. At least 3 candles would be idealistic for a trend in a daily, and this is 4 trend. So you see how many trend you can do. This one right here, I wouldn't get too comfortable in which way it's gonna go because it hasn't really
Hmm.
established a trend, right? This is a trend right here, right? This is a trend. I mean, you can start seeing the trend, right? And this is what I really want to emphasize on is identifying these trends like this, okay? So I could keep going and going. Just start doing this in your chart. At least minimum 3 candles is a trend, in my opinion. I don't know what's your rule, Brian. Like how many candles do you normally like
Oh,
would
as
consider?
long as I see like a higher low, I start
Yeah.
mapping it out.
Like here's a clean
And
trend right here. Look at that trend. That's a clean trend. Okay. So let's say if this area right here didn't exist yet, okay, and you're like wondering like how do I know which direction is gonna go? So you can do is like draw your Fibonacci since you think this is on the upside. You draw this out like this, okay? And now you can determine where your levels are at, okay? And if you don't know the Fibonacci numbers, here's the numbers. Let me see. Hopefully you guys can see this.
it's literally like black magic, guys. Once you guys understand how it works and it's programmed, and when you see like rejections at the fib line, all you're doing is you're gonna wait for a green or red candle and just go long or short.
Yeah.
Makes it really simple.
So again, if you don't have the Fibonacci, the specs right here, this is the settings, and then the colors is just whatever your preference color you want to see. But this is literally the specs that me and Brian use. Okay.
Hey TJ, so if you draw the fib on the wrong location, then you could totally be off.
Not necessarily.
Ah, no.
No, not necessarily. You just won't be as accurate. So okay, so I want to clarify as well. So if you want to go long, let me delete all this mess. So let's just go with the good trend right here, right? We can see this. So if you wanna go long and your long bias based on the trend, you always pull from the high to the low, okay? So you're finding the high and you're pulling it to the lowest the last time it trended. You can't draw it here or here or here because we still have a trend here. And you can't also pull it this. You can't pull from here to over this guy because that's a different trend. You see what I'm saying? Okay, hopefully that's making sense. Now, because remember, we don't know what's to the right of this candle right here. We're just gonna pretend we don't know this has existed yet. Okay, so then if if what we're trying to do in the long side is you want to see it break above this 100 line for a potential upside. You break below the 100 line, then you know you have a potential target to this 78.6 and then 61.8. Like that's how you can determine your levels if the candle hasn't, obviously the future hasn't happened yet, right? That's the best way you can do it. And as you can see to the left, it literally aligns with support and resistance. Like the guy that invented the Fibonacci is like freaking alien. He, he figured out the numbers on human behavior.
And bots are programmed to buy those numbers too. That's why you see it. So
Yep.
just to prove to you, I guess, go draw it from the left side red, the top one.
This one
Left, yeah, to the bottom.
to the bottom. Oh, okay, that's actually a good example too. So let me just zoom out real quick. So right here, so Brian wants to see, okay, what's we're gonna pretend this from this line right here, this line doesn't exist. So your most recent line is this guy. So then we're gonna draw all the way down to here, probably, right, Brian?
Correct. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
correct.
it's down here would be too far. And then keep in mind
Yeah,
too,
that's too far.
the longer you pull, the bigger the spread of these numbers, right? So therefore, you have to consider the time frame it took to move that far, right? The smaller the pool of your Fibonacci, the tighter your range are. Then it becomes more um, shorter when it comes to, you know, when it gets to like to your price target, right? So right here, zoom in. Okay, let me remove this guy. All right,
And I bet you the reason that sold off is because you can't see pre-market levels on here,
just
but
try.
I bet you at the pre-market that was at 409 for sure.
Okay, so now let's figure out this level. So the 100 line is the level we want to see breakout, right? So 100 line breakout right here, and look at exactly what it touched. Okay, 127. 200 needed to the 100 line needed to hold, but it broke. It hits the next line. Look at exactly where it went. Okay, before then it actually tried to bounce up right here, but since it broke that again, it hit the next target, and then potential break, and then the next line. Look at that, it touched literally right on point, and then sell off again all the way down. So it's just a game of which line is it on? Like, is it on the other side of the
Hmm.
line, right? That's the trend you're gonna go. As simple as that, literally. As simple as that. We've been talking about support and resistance. This is the same way to figure out where your support and resistance are. If you don't know support and resistance level yet by looking at the chart like this, like you wouldn't know like where to draw your lines. Like I can identify them like just by glancing at it, right? These are support and resistance levels. If you don't know how to do that yet, just watch a bunch of how to use a Fibonacci videos on YouTube, and literally you can find your support and resistance the easy way. This is like cheating right here, but I still
Hmm.
recommend you knowing what levels they're calculating at. Okay, like this is all factored in into that Fibonacci.
The biggest part is when you get a double confirmation. When you draw it into your daily, right? And then you plot your fib, and then it matches. And then it just gives you double confirmation that, oh shit, this is a buy zone, right? Or like this is a supercell zone.
Hmm.
So,
Okay. Any other questions? Is that making sense for you guys? All the new traders? Is this making sense?
I guess my confusion is when you drew that fib line, it took 9 days. It reacted to it for 9 days. So like when do you refresh it?
so you have to draw the biggest trend first.
So
The
when there's
big
a newer trend, right? When there's a newer trend that you can clearly identify. So let's say you drew this trend right here, right? We drew that trend. But then if you're drawing that trend, you could have drawn this trend as well, because now it's broken, right? Now it broke this 100 line. Now it could potentially keep coming down. So you can draw this new trend right here, or you can do the shorter time frame, which we know that it trended this way as well. So if you want to figure out the short side, so then you draw this like this, and then you can, as you can see, it's tighter, right? It's tighter. When it's tighter like that, you can zoom in better on like the hourly. Okay, it's really tight. you can see it's tighter. But each levels, it literally still hits these levels. Look at these bounce area, right? Like it's still the same, but you have more of a zoom in perspective, you know? So you can literally leave that right there and still play this choppy market and a scalping kind of strategy because not all not all market like is ideal for swing, right? Like in this case right here, multiple days, this is like chop, chop, chop. You kind of have to determine for yourself, okay, should I switch back to just scalping short time frame, right? Because right now we don't
And
have a clean trend.
if you really just want to day trade, then just draw it on the 15-minute. And it will be really, really, really clean for you guys. Like that's what I've been doing lately, just playing the 15-minute chart. As long as it's above that 20, that's the way I go. Right?
Yeah,
Like look here right here to your
I
left.
even called you out. I'm like, you scalping, Brian.
Yeah, look right here on the okay. Zoom in again.
Oh,
Where was that?
okay. So right here,
Okay, right there. Yeah, so that's the
most
no,
recent.
actually, your bias is going long, right?
Oh, long bias. Okay.
Yeah, long
So
bias
I would
because
go
it's
right
above
here.
the 20, right?
Yeah. So I would go right here.
I would even go before because it
Before
pulled
this
back
one.
way before that.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's true.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
because
it's a
most recent
15,
trend.
so right? Because you saw the pullback, right?
Hmm.
There you go. Look, 78.6 hold. And now that you see that, all you're doing is you're buying at the 78.6 line.
You got a breakout right here, a breakout above this line, right? And then a breakout above this line, and then you would have gotten stopped out. Actually, the next day, you would have tested support here, right? So once we get back up above here, they could have gone long again,
Mm-hmm.
and then
And
you can
it's
like.
really just like that too.
So your question was like, when do you redraw it? Like in this case, there's nothing else up here besides it's really far out, 261.8, which is like that's like a super bull run. So in this case, you can actually redraw this, right? So
So actually, you
that's
can just redraw it now if you want to the bear side, because you know it hit 61.8, right?
yeah. But I'm saying like to further upside, so I would have
Oh, okay.
redrawn this. You're like, okay, how
Yes,
far is it
correct.
gonna keep going? Look at that target, okay? And then rejected. So in this case, if you would have like, oh, you know what, it broke out, which right here, this would have been an actual tradable day, right? It broke out and you traded, you would have like, you have to respect these levels to go, okay, I'm gonna get out right here, and if it goes above, I'm gonna trade some more. But then as you can see, you would have been stopped out. And in this case, you would have been like waiting already. You know, when you get choppy, you get stopped out 2 to 3 times, then it's a signal that this is a choppy direction right now.
Correct. So actually, tomorrow, can you just draw this for me real quick on the 15th still to the downside?
To the downside, okay.
So grab the today's low on the pre-market right side. There.
This one to here.
Yeah, all the way to the high. Perfect. So now you know if it hits 341 in the morning and it gets rejected over there, you just go short. That's it. That's because it's the 50,
The
50
50.
and the 20 stacked together.
Yep, the rule of 50 that still applies right in the
Mhm.
20 as well. 20 SMA.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So once you see a big gigantic red candle right there, you go short and your target's the 330.
there you go. That's a shorter time frame.
And yeah, that's literally all I've been doing every single day.
And to be honest, like if you want to get too crazy, like you can pull this on a 5 minute, but then you're really gonna get stopped out pretty quickly if you do the 5 minute. So here's a trend on the upside, or here's a trend to the downside, right? You see how tight these are? But then again, you're gonna get chopped up pretty quickly. Fibonacci are
Yeah.
designed to pull from a bigger time frame.
So 15-minute minimum for sure to develop.
So if I'm understanding correctly, like 15-minute to an hour range is typically like a good range for the Fibonacci.
Yeah,
So and when
it
it's an hour, it's a swing trade.
Yeah.
But since markets is so crazy that those hourly fibs are hitting the same day. Okay?
Gotcha.
The 15-minute is meant to be day traded. Once it breaks down those fib lines in the 15-minute, it usually goes the same direction for the whole day. Like right there, actually, look at the 15. If you were trading the futures, look at that pullback. Okay, can you draw that?
On the ES,
Oh, and right there, the QQQ,
this one right here,
the bottom of the green. No, on the after hours.
on the right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
To the top of the red. There you go. Check it out.
127.
That this is what I do. Okay, so once it pulls back, and then I see a bearish candle that breaks down at this resistance line. Okay, so this one's at 339.86. The next candle, if it's red, I just go puts, and my target's the 127. Look at that. Look how clean and easy that is.
That one. So what
If you just
what
zoom
he's
in,
talking about, he's saying like that right here, the 78.6 rejection, the red
right?
candle.
It
He would have gotten in right here on this red candle.
right.
And then first target is this green. Once you break that, which is right here, it try to come up, and then this red candle right here is a signal to go to the next target right here. And then obviously the green candle is, which is, you see the hammer, actually the hammer would have been your signal for a potential move to the upside here.
The
And
100
then
line. Yep.
yeah, and then what you're waiting for right here is you're waiting for another red candle like this right below here,
Correct.
and then boom.
And then you go
And
short again.
if you see on this side of the line, the candle you want to see is this guy right here.
Correct.
Okay.
Then you go long because
Then
now
you go
you know
long,
it's gonna go back to your
potential
thing.
target right here, and you just rinse and repeat that process.
Literally, guys. Like I know market's been choppy, but my accuracy has been extra high still, just because I respect these fib numbers on the 15-minute.
So at the end of the day, guys, there's so many different indicators that you can use and trust. And Brian obviously have chosen the Fibonacci as his main trusted indicators. And I've chosen the 10 and 20 indicators because he taught me that, and I really like it.
Mhm.
And it's a mixed use of combination, right? You can use the 10 and 20 along with it, and then use the Fibonacci as a confirmation. Like right now, look at this.
Mhm.
Like, what do you see here that I always preach about? The basket. The basket is literally happening right now because we already just talked about that this is bouncing off this 127.2. We have a hammer candle right here, which is indicating a bullish. And then now if you don't want to get in yet, confirmation above here is actually a higher probability of hitting this line and potential move to the upside. Okay, the basket is
Right.
literally presenting itself. So what I'm trying to say is pick whatever indicators that you can really trust and rely on, and start looking left. Like start practicing. Like right now we're charting this. We're gonna go to, let's say, go back to 15 minutes and just randomly pick a spot. Like right here. Let's see. Right here. So this is bullish right here. So I'll go, okay, let me draw this trend right here. And then now you find breakout to the 100. Boom, right there. Right? Breakout to the 100. You got in. You got stopped out. Right? Next target down. It held, and then break out. Take your profits here. And then if you wanted to hold it a little bit further, let some runners, you can see it's hitting targets like on the money. Right? One, two. Back up.
And that was the rule too. Remember, 2 fibs up, 2 fibs down.
2 fibs up, 2 fibs down.
Mhm.
And we've gone in details on all these, what we're talking about, in all the previous videos. If you go back to our resources, educational resources, just look for the coaching sessions and look for like the Fibonacci or how to use the Fibonacci. I know there's a ton in there. I try to, you know, organize them by the name. But at the end of the day, if you're in this game for the long run, watch them all. Like literally watch them all. Like that's all I do every day, guys. Listen to videos or watching videos because I'm in it for the long run. I'm not in it to like, get rich tomorrow. It's like, no, I'm gonna get rich for sure. So that's that.
Mhm.
Any questions? You guys excited? Does that make sense, everybody? Does that give you excitement when you see the indicators and it makes sense and you're like, I like that or I don't like that? Like that is that kind of triggers your brain to go, okay, I need to learn more, or that's still confusing, I need to ask more questions.
I need to always learn, bro.
There you
Never enough.
go.
Not only that, but there's a lot of things I do know, but it's just like I need to watch this to have it engrave in my head, engrave it into my brain, so I can just naturally then react to these patterns when it hits that. I can naturally be like, okay, boom, react like you do. You snipe these freaking trades. You know, we're all new, bro.
Oh, and by the way, you guys, even though I'm not on Discord, it just means I'm like extra focused on trading. You guys can always message me and ask what I see. Because I am on Discord. It's just I'm not in chat.
Mhm. There you go. We do this every day. Every day. Doesn't matter. Rain or shine, sick or
Hmm.
whatever. We're literally trading. So,
And like the thing about like my trading style too is like once because I use candlestick patterns, right? So I got the bullish engulfing, morning star, shooting star, all of those. I use those. So when I'm stopped out, I'm stopped out. I don't like wait for hope. You know, like once it's wrong, it's freaking wrong. Because I know once it's wrong, it's gonna go the wrong way. Like
yep.
just get out.
There you go. All right, with that said, guys, any last questions before we log off?
So to learn more about this, just look into the educational resources. You said Fibonacci should be under there.
Yes, it should be in there. How to use Fibonacci or something like that. But this video right here will be uploaded as well.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, I came a little late, so I'll definitely rewatch it.
Cool, cool. Right on. All right, everybody, let's get ready for tomorrow.
Thanks,
More.
TJ.
All right. Thank you.